All right, it's 9 o'clock, 27th day of December, and the last meeting of the year. Please join me in the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, Commissioner Dupnick is going to lead us in a prayer.
Father, we thank you for this day. This county is coming to the end of its yearly business, and it's been a challenging year for this county. And it's also been a challenge to a lot of members of our community personally, Father. We just ask that you continue to guide us, give us comfort, and just lead us through this meeting and in the coming year, Father. Ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, roll call.
Commissioner Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Casterline.
Here.
Commissioner Russo. Here. Commissioner Dupnick.
Here.
Judge Garza.
Here. And let the record show that we have a full quorum. Section 4, citizens to be heard. I've got one. It was mailed in from Erkin Osbent. Home address 602 Saratoga Boulevard, Corpus Christi, Texas. And they wrote, I have purchased property located on 1141 Lee Road, Aransas Pass a year ago. There is a dirt road to my property. However, neighbor put a gate and lock on it and prevented me from going to my property. According to Rockport Abstract Title, which we closed with when I purchased, there is a legal easement, but it wasn't recorded at the county. I spoke to an attorney. Their fees are huge, which I can't afford. End. Anybody else? Clerk? Nobody else signed up? All right. Section 5, there are no proclamations or presentations. Section 6 is the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Got a motion, got a second, and I want Ms. Frazier to acknowledge donations to animal care.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we've had quite a few donations already since the last Commissioners Court. Animal Rescue Team with Humane Society of the United States donated 8 Purina 1 bags of food, 8 Pedigree 8 bags of food, and Purina 1 canned wet food 7 packs, which was in the estimated amount of $458.51. Deborah Tedder for the sweaters, blankets, treats, and toys in the estimate amount of $150. Blanche L. Dean in the amount of $1,000. The Fisher family in the amount of $500. The Burge family in the amount of $50. And that is what we received.
Thank you. Got a motion, got a second? Donations are read.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Let's move on to item number 10.
Move to approve the motion to repeal or replace resolution R 24-2011, a resolution to establish a Aransas Pathway Steering Committee with resolution R 302023, revised resolution to establish a Aransas Pathway Steering Committee to amend the definitions and procedures to provide for severability, repealer, and to establish an effective date.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and we've got a second.
I have a couple of comments. The one, actually, this is something that I recommended where we have alternates for the people, but in this deal, it says the voting member can name a temporary alternate. And I believe whoever appoints the person that's on there should go ahead and appoint an alternate to start with. I was looking for it when I read this a couple of days ago. I believe there's a a spot that says an employee of the county cannot vote. Is that? I think I see that somewhere in there, and I would say that if a commissioner's on there, they wouldn't be able to vote if that's the case. Because we are employees of the county, even though we're elected. So
That's a good
you
point.
might want to alter that a little bit. And
Amanda, can we strike that from the resolution?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, let's hear what else
Yeah.
Commissioner Castellano has.
so that, I would say we would qualify them as an employee of the county. Potentially.
All right. Any other changes,
What are we
Commissioners?
striking?
The county employees are not able to vote
Okay.
on the committee.
If they were on the committee.
Judge, I noticed on this revised one received, I was concerned, being the committee handles county money. And, part of the taxpayer funds are used for the budget. And they are subject to Open Meetings Act, but I'm, thank y'all whoever made this correction, that it does state that members will be subject to take an online training course concerning the Open Meetings Act. So that's great. Thank y'all.
And you might ought to clarify what that is. What the online training is for.
It's
For
the
the
Texas
Open
Open
Meetings.
Meetings Act law.
Okay. And what was the first one though you said about the alternate?
The alternates, I was one recommended that because that's what they have at the COG and it works pretty good. But I would say if the judge or if the court appoints or the city or whoever appoints the person should appoint an alternate at
Okay.
the same time.
Thank you.
Because in the past, the committees had a lot of times that we didn't have a quorum. That's a.
All right.
All right, then I'll move to table this.
I'll second it.
Got a motion, got a second to table? Go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Hi, before we move on, I do want to do some housekeeping here. We did have a donation. Oh, sorry, wrong one. We did have another donation. It was 7 $10 gift cards totaling $70 from Rockport HEB to Aransas Pathways. Just want to put that on the record. All right, and we'll move on to item number 11.
I move to approve resolution R 31, 2023, a resolution approving an intergovernmental cooperative purchasing agreement between Aransas County and the Equalis Group, enabling the county to participate in the purchasing cooperative, authorizing the county judge to execute all necessary documents, providing for repealer and severability, confirming compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got 2 seconds.
Wow.
Bob got it.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On page 3 of there, the primary contact information, who's the primary contact going to be?
It will be our office. It will be the auditor's office. This
you.
is another one of the co-ops, similar to what we have with all the others. This one, we are specifically joining because the furniture for the courthouse, this is the company that's doing that actually uses this co-op. So it's why we're doing an additional one.
All right, any other questions? On vote?
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes. I have number 12, and there is a correction to be made. On the first year totaling, the agenda states $102,345. The corrected amount should be $104,845. I'll entertain a motion for number 12.
I move to approve entering into a license and services agreement with Tyler Technologies, Inc. for jury management software with implementation costs of $60,690 with annual SaaS software as a service fee for 1 year or for year one, $41,655 for year two, $43,738. Year three, $45,925. To be included is $2,500 for an initial term of juror rapid pay cards. The first year totaling $104,845 will be funded by the American Rescue Act.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, Madam District Clerk.
Good morning. So we're here today. You might remember we've sort of done this before. We had Tyler bid for software as a service for this very service some months back. They bid it as a server-based software. So we're here again. This year is going to be covered by the grant. The next year's, it's going to be roughly $40,000 to $45,000 a year. We need the software. We need a more sophisticated system. It will make it easier on the public. And let me just say, you know, the one thing that this country, not just the state, but the country expects of our citizens is to do jury duty, whether they can serve or they're excused or they're reset or whatever, they're required to participate. And I just think that we need to make it as comfortable for them as we can when they are at our courthouse. With that said, this program will help a great deal for the lower courts to lessen the number of people who have to show up. In other words, we will have the amount of people that we need for that day, for the JP courts, for mostly for county court at law. However, the courtrooms in the new courthouse are smaller than what we expected. For district court, any of the aggravated offenses of the felonies, we do not have enough room to pick a jury in the courthouse. We'll have to go somewhere else. That's decision's going to be made by somebody other than me. We'll just be there and do the best that we can. But in the meantime, I didn't want you all to think that this program was going to solve all the problems. It solves 80% of the problems, but not all of them.
What do you mean by server-based? As opposed to what?
As opposed to us owning the server and everything being through the county, it's software as a service, meaning it's on the cloud. That's what we asked for. They did not bid that. And it was discovered a little bit afterwards in basically a kind of a get to know your person who's going to help you through this meeting. When she said something about the server and the server and the server, and I said, hang on a second, I thought this was cloud-based. And she said, oh, it is. No, it wasn't. It was found out that that is not what they bid. So this bid is more, obviously, and but it's good software. Tyler purchased this from another company, which tells me that it was better than what they had. I've seen what they had and it was a good system, but this is actually better.
Do we have anybody around using it that you checked with?
I have, I want to say Caldwell County. And we had a little Zoom meeting back and forth and they're very happy with it.
Is this the same software when the ARPA group was meeting that we talked to folks, I think, from Georgetown?
Yes, that's what it was. Yes,
Okay, Williamson County.
it's the same one.
They
Yeah.
seemed really happy with it.
Very, very pleased with
Yeah.
it. They gave us numerous reasons how it had benefited the court.
Right. Well, it'll save time during court, like right now. To make it short, people come in, they sit down in the courtroom. Judge talks about qualifications, and exemptions. Whoever's staying, we have to pick up their forms, put them in numerical order. Then somebody goes back to my office. They have to make copies of those. They have to type it onto a seating chart. And all of that takes some time. The good thing about this program is it's going to do all that automatically. When the people come in, they will get their chair. That's where they are. If somebody needs to be excused or if somebody's sick, that's dealt with right then. We don't have that second amount of stuff, and especially in this courthouse where people have to stand in the hall to get seated. And it's just, to me, it's horribly disrespectful, but we don't have any other choice here. And so I definitely want to make it more convenient on the public and also easier on my deputies with a system that's more sophisticated.
I have a question in the agreement, and I don't know if this would be a Colin question or what, but on the first page, it says the effective date is September 5th of 2023. Is that date going to be revised since we're now looking at the end of December?
I'm guessing so. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure that's just a minor change that could be taken care of.
Okay, because I don't want them to think that we've already
No.
received 4 months of service and they'll tell us that that contract's expiring and needs to be renewed and repaid.
We'll
next
make
September.
sure.
Thank you.
All right. Did you want to add to it,
Yes.
Madam Treasurer?
So what we added on the agreement is $2,500 for the Rapid Pay program. Basically what that is, the people come in, they have a barcode of some sort on their summons. They'll scan that, they'll scan like a credit card to put it to their name. After they serve, the list is given to me. I can send the money to Tyler or Rapid Pay, whoever, and they put it and activate the cards.
So the person
they're paid.
receives one of these plastic cards.
Right.
You said it's like a credit card, but they're
Well,
not
it's
having to surrender a credit card.
Pay
Okay.
card, but they activate the amount that I tell them that they get paid onto the card. So that eliminates all of the process of the district clerk or the county clerk giving me the list, me typing in all of the checks we're gonna write, and the auditors having to spit the check, sign the check, I sign the check, I mail it, the cost of the postage, the envelopes. I think it's a good deal.
Right.
I have talked to several treasurers for probably the last year about this program. They like it. I'm not real happy about the price that it ended up because it was quoted to me from Heath, which is online, at 95 cents a card. And now the amount is $1.98 up to 1,260 cards, and then it goes to $2.99 for the year. Still probably less than what it costs for us to write a check. So like I said, I'm not real happy with the amount, but since Tyler purchased Rapid Pay, this is the amount that is now presented to us. If y'all have any questions for Heath, he is online. He's with Rapid Pay. Heath, are you online?
Yes, I am. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning. We'd like to go back to the old feet. That's my comment.
I would too.
Yeah, understood. Costs continue to rise, plastic paper, we're providing all the resources. I do understand that, but yeah, it's still a very good cost and bundled in with the jury system as well. This is an extremely efficient package that y'all are going to be implementing for your county, for your jurors. It's a great opportunity moving into 2024. Just super excited to get this started, both jury and with the jury pay as well.
How soon do you think this is coming online?
I would say at least 6 months. Colin, do you remember what Tyler said? I said, I think one time before they'd mentioned 9 months and we said, oh, no, we need it before that. So I'm guessing it could be done in 6 months. I don't know why it couldn't be.
I don't see any
Thanks.
reason either. I don't recall the timeline off the top of my head, though.
And Heath, did you tell me that we could initiate the rapid pay before her program is started, or is that not still the case?
Oh, yes. So if your office wants to implement the jury pay portion of it, prior to the jury system going live, we can accommodate that as well. So it's kind of a two-step process. Some counties will wait for the jury system to go live, and some will kind of parallel it. And so with that being said, ours is usually 60 days, Alma and commissioners. So within the time frame of the contract being executed, we can go live with our payment solution for the jurors within 60 days. And then once the jury system goes live, then we'll just sync it together seamlessly, and it's all bundled together.
Yeah, that would be good.
And then I had one other question. If we, say after a year's time, decide that this isn't working efficiently or whatever, we just can't get it smoothly flowing, can it be pulled from the contract without interrupting the rest of the contract, the rapid pay part?
Yes, I believe. Normally, yes. The answer is normally yes, it can, because you just give a 60-day notice, written notice prior to the contract renewing, that you would not like to go forward with the payment process. And so therefore it would be discontinued. The jury system would still continue, but the payment solution would not.
So we do have an out on that part without interrupting what they're using.
I think you better get legal to look at that part. Tyler will be dealing with after we get started.
I will tell you though, commissioners and Alma and Pam, that the counties that have been using this solution throughout Texas, none of them have discontinued it. As Alma mentioned, the treasurers, they really enjoy it. The jurors enjoy it. It's efficient. And so thankfully, nobody has discontinued that service of paying the jurors through this payment solution. So that's a good sign moving forward.
And the only reason I was thinking on that line was that if I got resistance from the jurors that they didn't want those cards, I would probably go that route.
I think this is a great idea.
Yep.
I'm glad you found it, because I know those outstanding checks are also a real nuisance.
Well, and people are pretty used to using gift cards.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you'll be having is a gift card.
And now that we're paying $20 a day and 58 for second days, it's better than having a card with $6. Heath guaranteed me that after 3 months, and correct me if I'm wrong, if they do not ever activate the card, then the money does come back to us. If they activate the card and use a portion of it, then they escheat it to the state, which I'm not crazy about. But am I saying that right?
Yes, that's correct, Alma. So statute 61.001F of the Texas statute states that any jury fund or a payment, whether it's a check, whether it's a debit card, if it is not activated, cashed, claimed within 90 days of the issuance, then those funds go back to the county. And it goes back to either the general fund, jury fund, or any fund that Commissioner's Court deems as it should go to. And so we follow that statute, and that is correct, Alma. So at the 90th day, if a juror does not claim those funds, then we close that account down and we send that money back to the fund that you designate for us to send it to. That is correct.
And as far as donations go, that will never be sent to them to be put on a card. I'll process the donations just as normal.
That's correct. Yep. Just as normal is. Yes, correct.
Sounds good.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Want to vote?
Commissioner Casterline,
But you.
Commissioner
don't call-
Cheney, sorry,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners.
Thank you. Item number 13.
I move to approve the contract with Public Power Pool, P3, for electric power. County judge signed the letter on December 12th, 2023.
Second. Doesn't the
It was just
the
a
agenda
discussion.
just said, says discuss,
Oh,
unless there's a different one somewhere.
No, sir, it is just a discussion
Okay.
item.
Oh,
sorry about that. I was reading from this, sorry. Right, so I move we discuss it. if we have to.
all right, yeah.
Just
Did
discuss
you
it.
want to let him know, Judge, or do you want me to discuss it?
I guess our current, I'll give as much as I can, and I
Okay.
need you for some backup. Our current electric contract, they dropped us. We're not big enough. And so we had to go out and shop for more power. And we got in touch with Public Power Pool, the P3. It is I know y'all hate this, it's a pool of a bunch of different municipalities, counties, and we all get together to get a lower rate. And this has been going on for several months now, trying to wait for the best rate and the most favorable rate. We got a couple weeks ago, and I went ahead, y'all gave me permission to go ahead and sign with them. I went ahead and signed with P3.
So how's the rate stand with what we're paying now?
It is a slightly more, but then with what Mid-America is doing now, according to ERCOT, according to them, ERCOT they're charging more. If you have less usage, the rate goes up. They're not holding with a steady rate. So we actually probably will see a reduction is what I'm estimating, but at the rate right now with P3 is it's 5 cents, 5.7 cents. I think with, I'd have to verify it for sure, but the main rate with Mid-American is like 4.8, something like that. So it's not a lot of difference, maybe a penny. We did reach back out, the judge did reach back out to Stellar, who had originally given us one. They came back with a 7-cent rate. So that was when the decision was made to go ahead and do P3 because it was almost 2
So
cents
that
cheaper.
rate doesn't include the AEP side.
Yes, sir. This includes everything.
It's all in, and P3, as if you remember from our earlier meeting, is a nonprofit.
That gentleman came and gave a presentation like in
Yeah.
September or August or something.
September
didn't he?
25th.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And
So-
I just mentioned to Jackie yesterday, I guess, that one of the meters they're showing is for the Economic Development Workforce Center. And she was gonna check on that to make sure when we switch over that we're not paying. for
Right.
that
We
meter.
we will remove anything that we no longer are responsible for.
This will take effect in June.
The majority of it, they will take effect when we take the courthouse and the community building over, they will immediately become the providers for those. And then the rest of them will be June. Yes, sir.
Jackie, we've done an audit on all of the listed meter locations to confirm. it.
Mhm.
Right.
Because
Yes.
remember, we did that, a couple of years ago, I guess, and we found a couple that were not in use.
We do have some that have not been in use, but then we've had, airport had several that were not in use anymore, but they have come back online, a few of them.
Okay, but the ones that are not in use. are not-
Right, we make sure that we keep those off, turn off with anything or cancel anything that's not in use.
About how much, just if you can, just so we can kind of get an idea, about how much do we pay a month in total electric bill? Just, you don't have to be average.
Average is about 30,000 a month.
So with what we have, that's a pretty good price.
Yes, sir.
And I spoke with Eric Smith this morning because one of the meters also is at Tiger Field.
Yes.
And he indicated that when we finish that RFP and make a selection, that the new person who's in charge of that will be taking care of that electricity.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Commissioner
Nope,
Cheney,
there's no vote on that. It was just discussion.
Now, will we have to bring that back for a vote?
No, you already gave me authority to sign.
By September.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. We'll move on to item number 14.
I move to approve a request to solicit a request for proposals for a disaster recovery company to coordinate with county sheriff to oversee recovery efforts in the immediate aftermath of a catastrophic event.
Second,
Got a motion, got a second. Is Mike here?
No,
Is Mike-
this is, after something occurs, this is who we'll use like we did after Harvey.
But this is only for the sheriff's department.
I understand that, but
Is
it won't go into effect until.
Right, until there's a disaster.
I
But this
believe-
is just for the RFP to approve the
I
RFP.
believe this one is the one that we did a couple of years ago and we did not ever get a contract signed for it. This is someone who will come in not right after the storm for our generators and that type of stuff. We do have a contract with 2 vendors for that. This is a contract for somebody to come in, kind of like what the insurance company did, where they came in, assessed buildings, saw what they needed to be done. This will be someone who come in and do our assessments on damages and stuff to help us with our FEMA reports, our insurance claims, that type of stuff is what this
This-
company would do.
This is basically just dealing with the jail or dealing.
No, sir, this would be all county facilities.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing the
Yeah,
way
it
it's
is.
written.
I-
in there,
I'm not sure
coordination
why
with
it
the
was
County sheriff
Written where it was for the sheriff because it's not.
gives you that impression when you read the item.
We can
So-
table it
I
or,
would be surprised they didn't need to coordinate with Mike or the judge.
yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly who they should be coordinating with, or our office with the auditor's office for
Sure.
insurance claims and stuff.
Sheriff, you have anything to weigh in on this? Were you involved in the first one or? Okay,
Mhm. All right.
maybe that's a typo.
I think, yeah, it's, I think it's
Do you
type, it
think we
should be
need
the
to
emergency coordinator.
redo it?
maybe.
I think we need to. Table it.
Amanda's saying we need to table. it.
Let's go and table it and get it cleared up. Okay.
I'll move to table.
I'll second.
Kind of motion table?
You know, the agenda language didn't show, it said with county staff. It didn't say with county sheriff.
Yeah, so it probably meant emergency
under-
manager.
Mine said, oh, on that one, county staff. Oh, it's a typo. We'll wait for Mike.
Okay,
Go and table it.
so voting on the table,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Castelline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
I,
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. It is tabled. Item number 15.
I move to approve renewing an interlocal agreement with San Patricio County for them to provide a technical supervisor to inspect and service the county's intoxilizer equipment and to be available to testify as a witness if necessary for the cost of $14,000 for 1 year,
I'll
beginning
second that.
January 1st, 2024.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Sheriff, I know you're involved in this one.
So this is an annual contract, I think, that we go through every year or two. And it's to maintain that machine. It has to be calibrated and inspected. The log is kept with the machine and we share that cost with San Pat County. The only thing that did come up this year in this discussion was that, is this something that we need to enter into or calculate it in our interlocal agreement with the city of Fulton, and Rockport as well, because they share in the use of that machine, but the county is funding the burden of the maintenance on this, and DWIs were written by all the agencies here. And it's just a consideration of the court to take up.
How many times a year do you,
Oh, I couldn't tell you that offhand.
I mean, the really large number or?
It's gonna be for every DWI that's not done with a blood draw. I mean, it's probably in the hundreds. But I don't know by agency, but I mean, all the agencies use this machine, and right now we're just splitting the cost with Sanpat County for maintaining the inspection and the maintenance of it. And it may be something in our interlocal agreements that we filter that in or factor that in to cover some of this.
All right.
I had a question and I'm not sure if you can answer it. I don't know if Jackie can answer it, but the exhibits that were attached to it were San Patricio's budget sheets. Did you see those? I'm just curious because it shows that the share that they were looking to get from Aransas County in 2023 was 11,885, whereas we allocated 13,000. So did we pay them 13,000?
No, ma'am, we paid them, they bill us and we paid them, actually, I believe we paid them 11,500. I did look it up. And that's all we've budgeted this year too, so we will have to do a budget amendment.
It's probably based on
For
volume,
this.
isn't it?
I don't
Maybe
believe
based
it's-
on their cost and population. I'm not
Because
sure.
it's a cost deal because it's an outside individual that does this.
Well, but I mean, do we do more, testing than maybe Sanpat?
I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't
I'd be
think so
surprised.
either.
And I don't know that we've ever called them to court. I mean, Amanda might know, but have we ever brought them in to testify to the accuracy of the machine? I don't know.
We would only call them in generally in misdemeanors. We don't try a lot of felony DWIs, but misdemeanor DWIs, anytime that there's a breath sample used, we would have to call the expert in to testify because it's required that we call them in to testify as to the accuracy of the machine.
That'd be what would drive the cost more than anything else, but I just don't know how often that comes into play in a courtroom.
So even though we budgeted 13,000 for this current year, so far we paid, you're saying 11,500 and they're saying 11,885. So we may not end up spending.
It's a
13,000.
one-time payment. We do not make payments to them, so they bill us at the beginning of the year, a one-time payment.
Okay, so there may be a possibility that they won't bill us 14,000. Is that correct or no?
That's,
Well, it doesn't say up to.
Okay, so they don't just come and testify. We're not just paying them to testify. They
Oh, I
actually-
understand.
'cause they
I think
actually
they come out to
in-
the scene, right?
They come to the machine, which is
Calibrate it, test it.
actually in our county, and they have to come and calibrate the machine on a regular basis to make sure that it still works. And they have to come regularly to maintain the machine. And that's what they're mostly getting paid for. Even if they never come and testify, they have to come on a regular basis to make sure the machine works properly.
Okay.
And that's all, it's kept on the log there as well. The officers will self-test it before they actually use it. But then, yeah, they come in and calibrate,
Sure.
validate everything, even before the officer uses it on any occasion.
as far as your question, Commissioner, we'll pay what they charge us. It may not be the full $14,000, but I'm sure they will not bill us more than the 14,000 since that's what they've put in the contract.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye. Motion moves forward 5-0. Item number 16.
Move to approve change order number 12 for the construction contract between Aransas County Hill Construction for construction of the new Aransas County Courthouse, resulting in an increase in the contract cost of $15,660.70 with no charge.
No changes.
No charge in the length of the contract, no change in the length of the contract, and further consisting of the following changes. 1, CPR 64 transfer air device on the second floor. add $1,690.70 with zero impact days. 2 CPR 74 power over Ethernet at jury boxes, add $7,315 with zero impact days. Number 3, CPR 78 water testing of windows, add $6,655 with zero impact days.
Got a motion? Do I have a second?
Hi.
Nobody wants a second? Oh, okay. All right, got a motion and a second. Good morning, Al.
Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. So we just had, this was during our biweekly courthouse meeting on, this was December 6th. We had these change orders come up. The first one, the transfer station, sanitary air devices are on the second floor. We'll be cutting an opening into the existing walls for the requested boot transfer from room 207 to 251. That's the addition of $1,690, no additional impact days. For the power over the Ethernet, we're going to be returning some monitors that were previously purchased and replacing them with PoE monitors. In order for the power over Ethernet monitors to function properly, we needed additional PoE switches. They will be required in each courtroom audiovisual rack. The following is an itemized credit or cost schedule that reflects the monetary action required to complete the requested. So we're going to return 12 of the 16 monitors for a refund credit of $4,477.20. The new monitors that we're going to purchase, we're going to get 16 of those for a total of $7,184. We need a new midspan injector cost for $2,493.20. The additional labor to install and program the new switches is $750. Shipping and return freight is going to be $700. And then the subtotal came to $6,650. And then 10% fee from Teal, which is $665, which came us to that total of $7,315.00. So we will have 4 extra monitors that we cannot return, but we can use them in a different area of the courthouse. Okay.
Bill, we get these all the time. Is it something like the air transfer device? Is that a change or did they overlook that?
It was an overlook on that.
We hired an architect to do this, and I realize that there are things that are a very complicated system, but it's not their first rodeo.
Correct.
And we hired a construction manager, again, not his first rodeo, and then we hired someone from the county to overlook that, which we have now replaced or is now no longer here. And the overall cost, $1,600 is not much, but whenever you add it up with everything else that they've missed, it's a sizable amount of money. I realize that we have to pay for the devices. I realize whether they overlooked them or not, if it's required, we have to pay for them. But what I don't understand is, are we paying the architect any additional money? Or are we having any issues that would have, where we could get some of this stuff back? I know we have no project that size can be 100% at the beginning. I truly understand that. But it seems like every commissioner's court, you have $1,000 here, or $1,500 there, or $3,000 or $4,000 or whatever. They're nickel and diming us to death. And I'm really getting pretty tired of stuff that they should have done in the beginning. And we've had, I don't know, I'm sure somebody's keeping track of that, but I bet there's been at least $100,000 in changes. That's a lot of money. I realize that in the cost of the total project, it's not much money, but in the cost of us paying for it, it's a lot of money.
Correct.
So, and I'm glad you've taken over that, because you're very forward thinking, and nothing against the previous employee that was doing that, but you're standing up here, you're telling us stuff we don't want to hear, and you're doing it with a smile on your face, and And, but you understand what this is. But if we gotta buy it, we gotta buy a product, we gotta buy a product, but I'm tired of paying other people, that should have seen this coming. I'm tired of them, if they've got to redraw a print or something, that ought to be on them. That probably isn't going to be on them, I understand that. But, you know, I mean, how many other things between now and the day we go in, and then a year or two later, they're going to have to add because of stuff that they've missed. You know, this is, as I said, this is not their first rodeo.
Right, and I would agree with you, and I have the same sentiment that you have, that there's things that I feel like have been overlooked, and now we're finding those. And now the county is, we're adjusting that, but I do believe that we have a contingency to take care of some of those additional costs.
It's not that, I understand we've got a contingency, and as far as I know, we're still in that. But, and I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we had the foresight to do that.
Mhm.
But they're just, I mean, this is not the project that we had thought we were gonna get at
Yes,
the time.
I agree.
Why are they replacing the monitors?
I believe it was the ones that we had purchased, and maybe Colin can help me out with that.
Help
Didn't,
with that a little bit.
yeah,
So this was an oversight and a disconnect between the subcontractor hired to perform the work and the electrical engineers who laid out the circuits in the building. The subcontractor called for one set of specifications. The electrical contractor did not include circuits to actually plug any of the equipment in that the AV subcontractor had provided for. So when they got there, they're like, we don't have any plugs. This isn't going to work. It would cost more now to try to run conduit and everything else to add those circuits than it would just be to pull additional low voltage cabling through the existing conduits that are there for the data lines to add power over Ethernet cables. So it was a little bit cheaper to do it this way. And by the time they came up with the solution, it was too late to return part of the products they'd already ordered.
So this location on their side also, not up in the county.
Right.
And that brings up another issue, is the fact that, you know, we're gonna, in the time to come, we're gonna live or die with IT. You know, internet technology and just computer technology and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all those other weird words. I'm pretty upset is why they didn't include our technical staff in everything in the beginning of this. I mean, Colin has time and time again said, you know, they're not letting us do this. They're not letting us get into helping them out or making conversation, you know, at least just taking what we know we need and then just telling us what they think we need. You know, it's like kicking a dead horse. I understand that, but I just want to say that I am not pleased with that. I have not been over to the courthouse because with my legs the way they are, I can't climb the steps yet. So I got to have an active elevator before I can get in it. But you know, I've asked questions of Colin and the county clerk and our tax office and the finance director and everybody, and they've all had comments that needed to go in, but nobody's listening to them. And I think that was a problem on our end as far as being able to coordinate with the people that are actually going to be using the courthouse and the builders and the architects. I think that's been an issue. I want to tell Judge Garza that I appreciate his getting actively involved in this as much as he has, because a lot of this stuff should have been done back before we even turned the first spade of dirt. And I just want to get on the record to say that this stuff, though it's not a lot of money to the overall cost of the project, it's money that should have been put into the initial thing, and maybe we wouldn't be so far behind on the courthouse.
right.
I do want to real quick, the monitors at the jury boxes. This is the, I guess, less expensive route to go rather than adding new wire, busting out sheetrock and paneling. and hardwiring it. So this is, we are moving forward with the lease, that we're gonna have to pay for it. Right. And then I don't know if you hit the water testing. Did you hit that
No, I
one?
haven't done
Okay.
the water testing.
I'd like to say one other thing, though.
Mhm.
Commissioner Cheney was saying if staff had been included, staff was included. I know Colin has spoken several times about this. I've been attending these meetings since probably March or April of this year and have been disappointed, flabbergasted. But this was a case of, in spite of what was on the drawings, it was not installed. And that's a problem that we have seen time and again. There were things that we had asked for. There were things that were called for on the drawings. Not all of them. Some of them weren't even on the drawings, but this in fact was, and it was not installed as we'd asked for it to be. So now we're having to pay this additional cost. And I know it's a slight slip, but you've mentioned 1,500 a couple of times, Commissioner Cheney, is 15,000. $15,660, and that is significant.
It is.
Yes, I would agree. So for the testing for the windows, the water testing, that has always been something that the county, so this is not something where Teal or TGAL or PGAL would have had to take care of. This was always something that the county needed to take care of. So this will be the testing of the windows. It's a total of $6,050, and then Teal's cost is again this 10%, so $605. So it comes to the total of $6,655. It was always part of our responsibility to take care of that. Once all of the windows and doors are in, then they'll go through and they'll do that water pressure testing on them. We do get an 8-hour day. We'll be able to test approximately 3 windows with 3 windows/doors, whatever they choose. Well, whatever gets chosen, and for sure the front door is going to be one of those. So we're waiting on that to be installed. So this could be a few months before this actually even gets taken care of, I would assume.
Every window and door will be tested.
No,
No,
no, it will not.
most likely it will be 3. So the storefront door, the entry will get tested, which is not installed at the moment. One of the arch windows will be tested, and a window on the second floor, I believe, are the 3 windows that they're planning on testing.
Okay, right now it shows completion date to be January 31st of 2024.
That's not right.
So is that a good date or not?
No way.
That is not a good date.
Well, that's the date it shows on the change order. That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
That's a point of different meeting, different
a
discussion.
different discussion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if they fail the water test, then they will be tested again, and it will not be at the cost of the county. We only pay for
One
the
time,
initial.
correct.
Just state that.
Yep. And so we have 0 impact days on that also. So our proposed end date is completion date at this current time.
Any further questions? All right, let's go and vote.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Nay,
Commissioner Dupnick,
Don't have a choice at this point.
Judge Garza.
Aye.
Thank you.
I'd like to make note, the document that I give the commissioners to read from, number 17 on the agenda got missed. And then we doubled number 18. I apologize.
All right, let's move on to item number 17.
Move to approve the November 2023 Treasurer's Report.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second. Madam Treasurer, good morning.
If y'all have any questions, I'll entertain those, but I do want to point out there are several red numbers on the sheet, but keep in mind that all of the tax collections that we are collecting are hitting into Fund 890 Advanced Tax Collections. That's $1.7 million, which a good portion of that is for the general fund, road and bridge, which those two need to be offset, and the flood and the mosquito. Also this month we did in the 430, which is the grant fund. It is always in the arrears. because we pay first and then get, but we did get $2.9 million, somewhat in that range this month. And still collecting in several $1 million in property taxes. So those will end well for the end of the year.
And the 2.9 million, you said, Alma, in the 430 account?
Right, that
Did
was,
you give any kind of a breakdown about that?
Jackie, do you know what those were for?
The majority of them are for street projects, all of the different GLO street projects.
Thank you.
So that will offset the 3.4 in that 430 fund.
That explains the deficit from last month and this month.
Right.
Okay.
But do keep in mind that the physical bank account itself is always covered in like the general fund you see in the red. There's always sufficient funds in the physical bank account to cover everything. Any questions?
Nope.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
and Judge Goddison.
Aye, passes 5-0. Item number 18.
I move to approve fee change required by legislative changes to local government code 118 to be effective January 1st, 2024.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second. Good morning, Madam.
Good morning.
County Clerk.
Just as a note, there are 18 different chapter codes and I think 3 different rules that govern our fees for my office. This is a complicated thing. So that's sort of my lead into, I'm sorry that it was so late getting to you. Many of these fees were changed during the 88th legislation session and become effective on 1/1/24. Myself and my staff did extensive research, talked to other counties for clarity, and have updated our fees to meet those new rules and statutes. Of course, like every other legislative change that has come down in the last few years, we are going to be getting less money. For the official public records side, it's going to be a noticeable amount. For the courts side, I don't think it will be a noticeable amount.
So they give us more business to do, but they give us less money to do it with.
Absolutely. That's been the standard lately.
Is that gonna affect the budget in the year end?
It's going to affect my records management and archive funds the most. And that's where we pay for that co-file contract. And so I'm a little concerned about that. We do have 5 years to pay. We are on a 4-year payoff, so we could adjust that without it hitting our budget. It would just take us an additional year to pay that co-file contract off. And it was built into the contract to give us that flexibility in case something like this happened.
I appreciate the information, even if we didn't get that packet. I appreciate the information you gave us because I went online and looked up that bill. And I'd like to thank Jude Zaffarini from Laredo and co-sponsors Orr and Moody for passing this through that hurt numerous counties.
Right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Judge Goddison.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 19.
Move to approve budget line item transfers for the 2023 budget.
You say 22 or 23?
23.
Says 2023. I thought I said 20.
He said 23.
I heard.
We got a motion? You have a second?
Second,
Got a second.
We have none at this time.
Sweet.
are we anticipating?
We
next-
will have some, probably in the next month. I'll have some, and then in March, I will have a cleanup. We have to keep books open until the end of February.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick, Judge Garza.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 20.
Move to approve accounts payable and payroll liabilities.
Second.
Got a motion, got a second?
The payroll and payroll liabilities and accounts payable were most normal. I did want to point out a few unusual different ones that we have. We had to pay our first installment for the appraisal district 2024 budget. It was $103,866.30.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
$103,866.30. Last year, our quarterly payments were $69,455. There's about a almost $35,000 increase. We did have Mont McDonald with our HMGP projects, the generator projects, $22,381.73. And the engineers for those projects, we had a few invoices that totaled $887.76. DLF, the contractors for our community building, was $498,940.30. We also had with Teal for the downtown, for the courthouse, $324,936.11. And with ARPA funds, we paid TxDOT match for the field lighting for the airport of $257,000. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything
I have
else.
one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Can you get something where we can darker? It's getting worse each time on your
Well, they're very light, so and if it's a copy of a copy or,
well, it's very difficult to read.
we may have to set the printer to do it because Encode will not print it any darker. So once they make the copies, we may have to make it a little darker, just reset the printer on that.
I think he's talking
yeah,
about the payroll.
The,
Payroll. The semi-blank sheet.
well, yeah, they're,
Well,
okay.
we need, this is again, a very important part of what we study. I mean, Jackie always gives us a great thing, but it's worthless if you can't read it. And it's just too.
Yeah, it's with the payroll, you're just gonna we're gonna have to darken it up a little bit because it's an Encode report and that's just
Yeah.
what we get.
I have a question,
Yes, ma'am.
and it might be for Al. On DLF, that's the contractor for the community building, is it not?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you give us a just short summary of how that's going? Because there were some issues in the last few months. I'm just wondering if things are getting better over there.
So as far as the community building, I don't know of any real issues that are going on. The steel is here. It's already
It
erected.
still is here, good.
So we're on track with that project right now. I believe it's going to be ending the end of March. We
Will it
haven't
be
had,
complete at the end of March?
I believe so. Yep. So we haven't had any, we did have a little delay this week because of course the holidays, we don't have a lot of workers out there. But everything else is on track for that. We're working with the Rockport Center of the Arts for the fountain,
Right.
getting that taken care of, the sculpture, getting that in place. That's right now what we're working on this last 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Commissioner
There.
Cheney,
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline,
Aye.
Commissioner Russo,
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick, Judge Garza.
Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Item, actually, section 11, reports from commissioners, elected officials, and department heads. No action will be taken.
I have one.
All right.
On Friday, my office will be closing at noon. And that we will be in the office, but we're going to close to the public so that we can change the dates, close out the end year reports and prep everything for 2024. So just noon to 5 on Friday, we will be closed.
Anybody else got anything?
Yes, sir, I
Sheriff?
do.
Oh,
I-
Sheriff has something.
Oh, go ahead.
Approving the changes that you attended the meeting, the architects met with them, revisions for making itself in the courthouse. All the workarounds and changes have been approved for us to proceed on. I still haven't completed all of them, but plan was approved.
Thank you. Miss Jackie?
Back, I want to say this summer, court authorized us to do a survey with Clear Result on our efficiency for the electricity and the AC. We got notice this week or last week, I guess, that we're going to be receiving an incentive check of $6,095 based on the new courthouse. On the efficiency for the new courthouse.
Great. All right. Well, I want to take some time and tell you. So before I took office, a wise man told me that he would never want to do this job. It's the hardest job in the county. Jerry Bundret. Anyway, he's right. It's not easy, but I'm very blessed that I have a great staff. I mean, everybody's done such a good job. I'm blessed that I have Jackie to consult with. She's doing a great job, and just her office and just everybody. And I'm blessed with Tracy and Emily. They keep me straight and keep me on schedule. The county is blessed to have Renee. You're doing such a great job too. Always watching the pennies. I appreciate that. David, you're doing such a great job. I'm going through, Caitlin, you're doing superb there at Animal Care. Keep it up, please. And just the commissioners, thank you for the support. Sheriff doing a great job. Anna doing a great job. Of course, Elle, she's doing like 3 jobs right now. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's been a hard year for the county. Before I took office, we had, it was great before I took office. As far as like sales tax, we had record-breaking sales tax, record-breaking, all the food and beverage tax, but it's slowing down. My company last year, or the past couple of years, the company I worked for, we built several houses in Rockport. We had about 50, 60 workers staying in Rockport, spending money in Rockport, eating at the restaurant, spending money at HEB, but we are on a decline. Someone yesterday, I was talking to someone, they compared me taking office as, dude, you're the guy that opened up a liquor store the day before Prohibition began. So next year it's going to be tough. It's going to be really hard. I still want to challenge my directors and elected officials. Please watch your budgets. And this lawsuit, it's not helping either. No insurance money. If we had that money in the bank right now, these change orders would hurt a little less, but we don't know if we're going to get anything. But just pray, and thank you. Last meeting of the year, so I made it a year. I appreciate everybody's help. Move on to.
Wait, I want to say
Oh, yes,
something.
ma'am.
So I worked for the county for several years and then came back as commissioner. And I just want to say the message that you sent out, I think on Thursday, wishing everybody Merry Christmas, and your heartfelt greetings really touched me. And I know it touched others. And I really appreciate that. I've never received that sort of message before anywhere I worked. And I just want to thank you. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to section 12, reports about items of community interest. Anybody got anything? All right. Are we going to closed session, Amanda? Yes. I'll entertain a motion to convey into closed session.
I move we adjourn the open meeting and convene into closed session to consult with counsel and receive legal advice about insurance matters related to Aransas County's projects and insurance claims from Hurricane Harvey, including the following pending litigation: Aransas County, Texas versus Endurance American Specialty Insurance Company et al., Aransas County District Court, cause number 23-0021, and North Star Recovery Service, Inc. versus Aransas County Independent School District and Aransas County, Aransas County District Court, cause number 23-0066, consolidated with North Star Recovery Services, Inc. and HR&R LLC et al., Aransas County District Court, cause number 20-0159, and Aransas County versus Kathleen Hicks in her official capacity as Director of the Regional Pool Alliance, Aransas County District Court, cause number 23-0069, pursuant to section 551.071 of the Texas Open Meetings Act, which authorizes closed sessions for a governmental body to consult with its attorney regarding advice on legal matters pertaining to pending or contemplated litigation or a settlement offer, or on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the governmental body under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with the Open Meetings Act.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second?
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick.
Aye.
Judge Garza.
Aye, passes 5-0. Before we go into closed session, I forgot to mention my HR. Y'all are doing great. Thank you, Desiree. You teach me something every day. Thank you. All right, we're gonna be in closed session in 5 minutes. All right, I'll enter.
To reconvene in the open session.
I'll second that.
Got a motion, got a second to reconvene into open session.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick. Judge Garza.
Aye, motion passes. We are in open session and there's
Adjourn.
moved to adjourn.
I'll second that one.
Got a motion to adjourn and a second.
Commissioner Cheney.
Aye.
Commissioner Casterline.
Aye.
Commissioner Russo.
Aye.
Commissioner Dupnick. Judge Garza.
Aye, passes. All right, thank
Happy New
you.
Year, everybody.
See you next year.